The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 221 with Hammer King.
Hammer King.
Sweet. All right, Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. That sample you just heard was The King is a Deadly Machine by Hammer King, who I've got on the show with me right now. And he is a deadly machine because he's got a hammer. He's a Hammer King. That's The King is a Deadly Machine. Anyway, they've got a new album called Poseidon Will Carry Us Home, which released via Cruz del Sur Music on October 5th. Right now I'm being joined by Titan Fox to share some stories about the music and share more info about the band. So Titan, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, and thank you for having us, John.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Indeed, a pleasure to have you on the show. Let's go listen back to that track, The King is a Deadly Machine.
The King is a damn machine.
That's my little man, by the way.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
He says nice to meet you. Now, it's coming back from The King is a Deadly Machine killer track. I'm curious, what is the story or inspiration behind The King is a Deadly Machine?
Well, if you listen very closely and if you look at the lyrics, you might find several hints that even a terrible majesty like the Hammer King will have some secret heroes probably working for him. And if you take a close look, you will find out that this is about a very, very popular figure from an 80s TV series. There is a comlink, there is SPM, which could stand for Super Pursuit Mode, and there is a very special sound at the beginning of the song. I'm very, very surprised no one has ever figured out so far. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, that's fantastic, because now I want to go back and listen for these things that I clearly missed the first time around. Little Easter eggs, which is fantastic. I'm curious.
Yeah, there's a prototype, and there is even a Juggernaut, which used to kick off season 4 back in 87 or whatever. I'm very sure you will find out.
Well, that's awesome. I'm curious, what inspired creating a song about this particular 1987 season 4 Juggernaut?
Well, I mean, as we always say in the legend of the Hammer King, all songs are written by the Hammer King himself. So, of course, the question is what inspired the king to write a song. But as far as I'm informed, usually, and that's not a joke, things, honestly, they just happen when you perform music. And sometimes it's just when you jam along with the band, you will have one or two lines of lyrics. And it happened with this song. We did a sound check for a concert, actually, and we bought some fog machines that needed to be checked, and we played the opening track of the concert, which we usually do not rehearse anymore. And we went straight into song number 2, which used to be Last Hell Riders from the second album. And our drummer Dorothy just counted way too fast to fool us, and we started playing anything, and boom, we had the riff of the song. We had the second riff, and I don't remember, but probably I sang anything. But I know that we ended up having the chorus, hear the thunder, hear the screams, I see the fire, the king is a deadly machine. And at that moment we looked at each other and we knew, wow, okay, this is definitely going to work. And the rest of the lyrics, I think it was just looking for a hero, for a legend story to mix it with the chorus that actually already existed. Mm-hmm. And I think the king can be anything, so this could be a secret agent working for the king. It really worked for me.
Correct. Now, for Rock Metal Nation who dug the track, The King is a Deadly Machine, will be excited to know that there is a music video that they can watch. So if you go and go to today's show notes at www.therockmetalpodcast.ca, you can go ahead and check out the video. Now, Titan, if you wouldn't mind taking us through the production of the music video.
Yeah, it was a very, very long day a couple of weeks ago, one of the last hot summer days, and which was very helpful because we knew that we would have an open fire the entire day. So it was the sun and the fire. I think we met at 10 a.m. and we stopped at probably almost 2 a.m. again at night. It was a very, very straining day. We knew that we will have the element of the fire in the video because it's heavily featured on the chorus, and we would have a video that looks different from the 2 videos that we did before, which basically were kind of performance videos in a setting where the band was standing in a hall or on a stage. So we said we want to have something that dominates the entire shot, and we knew we did many shots during the day. We did shots later in the day. We used a drone actually to film from above, and basically 95% of all the shots used in the video are the ones that we did past 10 p.m. when it was completely dark. We had the fire behind us. It was very uncomfortable, to say the least. Actually, it was freaking hot. We are wearing the long robes, which are basically absolutely hot, even without fire. We added the fire, we added the movement. We were completely done at the end of the day, but it was impressive to film it. So we knew that the video would be at least impressive to watch, I think.
And it is. So thank you for your struggle, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks. Yeah.
No worry. Speaking of heat and fire and being at the mercy of heat and fire, we could also be at the mercy of the waves. Let's go listen to the next track, At the Mercy of the Waves.
At the mercy of the waves.
Metal Nation, it's John from the Rock Metal Podcast for a real quick break to let you know that Jay over at Metal Mayhem Radio is looking to help you get your band in rotation on his station. So go ahead and hit up Jay at studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. That is studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. Just go ahead and say that the Rock Metal Podcast sent you. He'll get you into rotation on Metal Mayhem Radio. All right, coming back from At the Mercy of the Waves, another killer track. I'm sure similar question. Obviously, the Hammer King writes all songs, but what is the story or inspiration behind At the Mercy of the Waves?
When we got the first music from the Hammer King to work on, to arrange for and record for the album, there were 3 songs that in a way seemed to fit together. We had a trilogy on the first album, and so on the second there wasn't one, so we knew that we would probably have a trilogy for the third album again, and it was it sounded maritime to me. Especially the song that would be At the Mercy of the Waves. There was this certain kind of a roll when you hear the riff. It sounded to me like a heavy wooden ship diving up and down through the waves, actually. And so we put the tracks in order. Poseidon Will Carry Us Home as the opening track. The second one, At the Mercy of the Waves, and the concluding big long track, We Sail Cape Horn, for the final piece. And once we Sail Cape Horn, we knew that the entire movement of the trilogy would probably be like, imagining the Hammer King sailing the ancient Cape Horn route, which was one of the most dangerous routes in the world. So, of course, you're at the mercy of the waves, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, now for Rock Metal Nation, who dug the track At the Mercy of the Waves, will be excited to know that there is a lyric video to check out. So if you go to today's show notes at www.therockmetalpodcast.ca, you can check out the lyric video. For Rock Metal Nation, who dug the 2 tracks, The King is a Deadly Machine and At the Mercy of the Waves, will be super excited to know that there is a full album called Poseidon Will Carry Us Home, released via Cruise Del Star Music on October 5th. Now, Titan, if you wouldn't mind, when we pick up the album, what should we expect?
Well, they say the third is going to make it or break it. And that was probably the burden that we carried when we did the album. But once the songs were, I think the 12 songs were completed, we have a very detailed pre-production. And we went into the studio with Charles Greywolf. We started recording. The drum sound was so organic this time. I don't know what he did. It was the same room, but something went completely up this time. We had a wonderful organic drum sound, and I said from the beginning, keep it organic, don't over compress anything. We had a very fitting guitar sound, and so we knew we will have an organic classic metal production with no keyboards on it, with only real voices, no auto-tune on it, I think more or less no samples on the album, and that was the direction that we wanted to go. Of course, we have the maritime theme, so there is at least 3 songs that have a slight concept, of course, and we try to slightly push the borders of our band sound a little bit, which actually didn't happen on purpose. It was a natural progression. We have some maybe I could call them a little bit like folky melodies in some songs, like Battle of Wars or Glorious Night of Glory. We have many twin lead guitars, and we try to expand the choir singing a little bit on the album. So we have some counterpart vocals on We Sail Cape Horn, for example, and it really, really turned out extremely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, sir. Now, the next logical question on Rock Metal Nation's mind is, how can we find out more about you guys and stay in touch? Is there a place we should go to on the web?
Yes, of course. You can go to www.hammer-king.com, or for a better contact, you can always use the official Hammer King homepage on Facebook. We usually answer within a couple of hours. You can always stay in touch with us.
All right, Titan. Well, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing Hammer King with Rock Metal Nation.
It was an absolute honor for me. It was the first time I ever was in touch with Canada for Hammer King. Hopefully one day we will be in Canada, because we absolutely want to see the country. We want to play Rush's own country, and we would desperately want to tour over there. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. Maybe it will happen one day. thanks for the wonderful interview. It was a pleasure.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Hammer King. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.
Look at